from Barksdale Air Force Base down in Louisiana. He is the 2nd MSG SEL there. So the warm weather that we're experiencing, I think he brought it up from the south. We had the pleasure this morning of, already getting some of us in the room, some of the individuals that might be sitting throughout the crowd. We had the pleasure of hearing him speak this morning. So let me tell you, he's got the Riz. He's got the Riz. If you don't know what that is, yeah, you just ask him. Ask him what the Riz is. But without further ado, Chief Booth, thank you for coming. I'll turn it over to you, and you take all the time you need, sir.
Thank you, sir. Am I the thing that's standing between y'all and the end of the day?
No, sir.
All right, good. That's way too much pressure. You'll take one and pass the rest. Way too much pressure to be the only thing holding y'all up from end of day. So currently, there are some 3x5 index cards going around. That is going to be important for how we open up this session this afternoon. So hopefully everybody has a pen, because I'm lacking in life. I didn't bring pens with me. I only got one if somebody needs it to offer it to you. But everyone will need to participate in this part. So if you don't have pens, I'll figure out a way to go grab some and get them to you all. So everyone, by the time we're done, should have one of those index cards. All right. Chief Booth. I brought all of the warm weather. I put my Cash App and my Zelle on my second slide. Y'all are welcome, so make sure y'all send me a little thank you for this 40-degree weather y'all experienced. Because I heard what y'all had last week. And I was like, oh no, let me come up there and bottle up some warm weather. And as we were landing, warm weather for everybody. So make sure y'all hit my Cash App after we all done. As we get ready to jump into this session, I have what I refer to as 3 simple asks. Ask number 1 is that you find something that you can accept. That's it. Even if begrudgingly, like you're sitting in your seat, I have said something came up on the slide, or someone out in the audience said something, and you're like, I guess I will accept that. First thing already done. You have found something that you can accept. Number 2, you may have heard people say, when you know better, you do better. Know better, do better. Unfortunately, that math don't math. Just because you know better does not believe you will do better. You have talked to folks, and you have asked them, like, what were you thinking? What were you doing? Like, what was on your mind? And you have received, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I'm not sure. You're like, how many times we done had this conversation? And if you are thinking and you're like, I don't think I've ever done that with anybody, then you're that person that everybody around you is having to do that with. Because it exists. And if knowing better equals doing better, then we wouldn't have anything to worry about. We would tell people, we would teach them, and they would go out and they would do better. And so ask number 2, find something that you can begin to practice, that you look out, that you experience in this hour session, and you say to yourself, I can start practicing that. Ask number 3. As I built this, I thought about the product of the product. That if I can do a decent job with you, that I'll pour something in and you'll walk away from this moment and you'll go, that wasn't a complete waste of 50 minutes of my life that I'll never, ever get back again. It was worth it. But if I can do a phenomenal job, that you will walk away from this moment and you will go and share it with someone else. You will take it back and you will redefine how you do things in your work center. And so thinking of the product, find something that you can share. That's it. Something you can accept, something you can begin to practice, then something you can share with someone else. You can find one thing that covers all 3 and you're still good to go. And then I got one standing rule of engagement. Give yourself permission to interrupt me. That this is about inspiring people. The word inspire comes from the Latin spire. to breathe. And so truly to inspire, you have to breathe life. So help me breathe life into this room. I can't do it alone. There is something I'm supposed to give you, something you're supposed to give me, and more importantly, something all of you are supposed to give to each other. Don't leave this moment holding on to the thing that you could have given that would change someone's life. And so you get to Kanye West me this afternoon. That old Kanye. I'm talking about the Kanye that was jumped on stage and was like, I'm gonna let you finish, but you get to jump up and be like, yo, Chief Booth, I'm gonna let you finish, and then you can breathe life into this room. And wow, you have permission to give yourself permission to interrupt me and pull a Kanye. Guess what you can't do today? You can't Will Smith. If you think you gonna stand up and walk up here and slap fire for me as I see you coming, I'm getting ready. I got some old man strength I've been storing up for my son because I know the day is coming. I will waste some of it on you this afternoon. And if I gotta line y'all up, I would have been loaded to my exit. There's only one way out of here. If I gotta line all y'all up to work up out of here, I'm taking some of y'all down with me. So you can interrupt me. You can't Will Smith me. And I strive that you'll find something you can accept, something that you can begin to practice, and then something you can share with someone else. This afternoon, the topic that has been selected for y'all is infinitely connected conversation. Have you ever been in a moment with someone where it felt like y'all were like ships passing in the night? Like you're saying stuff to them and they're just not picking up what you're putting down. They're saying stuff to you and it's just not coming through. Or the way you communicate to the people around you can be better. Then this session is for you. How can you start the process to deliver a message that is always meaningful and connected and get people moving in the right direction? Then there will be something that you can take away. And just to make sure, the very first thing we are going to do is we're going to tell a story. That's right. Y'all are getting ready to write a story. It is story time. The thing that I am going to ask y'all to write a story about, that's why everyone has one of those cards. So I was like, hey, make sure you got a pen. If you ain't got one, I'll loan the one that I got on me, because you got to write a story. And the story that you have to write about shoes. That's right.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Was you in the session this morning?
Yes, sir.
I know you was, because I remember you. I saw you sitting over there, and I said to myself, so later on, when you tell everybody they got to write a story about shoes, she gonna think back to you saying that you got an affinity for retro Jordans. It don't matter how much they cost, you copping them. And so when you say you got to write about shoes and there's gonna be a pair of Jordans down there, she's gonna be like, of course we do. And here we are, y'all having to write a story about shoes. But as you write the story, I want you to write it from the perspective of the shoe. That is your writing prompt. You are going to write a story, and that's why I gave you the card. You got to choose which side you want. You don't get to write it on both sides now. You either want the side with the lines or you want the blank side, but you only get one side of this index card. And I want you to write a story from the perspective of a pair of shoes that you already own. I'll even take it a step further. Since I got this thing, I'm not looking for help. So don't think at the end of this, you're going to come have a conversation with me. Chief Booth, you need help. You're spending too much money on shoes. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about my life. I'm buying them joy. That's the way it is. Conversations I have with my wife all the time. All right? And so now, y'all are going to think about a pair of shoes you already have. You're going to write a story from the perspective of the shoe. You get one side of this index card. I'm gonna play a little bit of music while y'all doing it, so you can just like a little vibe out session, write your story, and I'm only giving you 5 minutes, because your commander gave me 50. I'm giving you 5 of them. Don't go over on my time. Be on time, be on target. I'm gonna keep this thing off whether y'all ready or not. Y'all with me? How much time y'all got?
5 minutes.
What y'all writing a story about?
Shoes.
From what perspective?
Shoes.
And what does Chief Booth love?
Jordans.
Retro Jordan shoes. It's all about shoes this afternoon, y'all. All right, so here we go. You got 5 minutes, 5 whole minutes to write your story from the perspective.
I get that pen.
That's not my airman.
I like your style. I like your style. There's a magic pen here, man. Your story gonna be fire, so you know you're gonna have to share it since you had to write.
He's the perfect person for this.
All right, 5 minutes. Start right now. All right, all right, all right. Your time is up. You have been given a writing prompt. You had 5 minutes to write a story about shoes from the perspective of the shoe. And now, since it's story time, I didn't say it's writing time. I told y'all it's story time. And so now, I gotta have at least 2 people, because I already got one who used my pen, so he don't got no choice. So I gotta have at least 2 more people when he does share their stories of their shoes. All right.
I got it, yo. Why you get back there?
I mean, that would only be right. Because if I don't get it now, you're gonna walk up out there like, Chief Boo got me telling my story. I'm keeping his pen. All right, let's go. There we go. Okay, okay. Oh, it's gonna get real. He's taking his coat off. Okay, okay.
Every day he ties the shoes so tight. I felt the most disrespected when he stepped in the UGG boot. I feel as if I'm not appreciated enough in my endeavors, but I love him all the same. I wouldn't want anyone else wearing me. He really recognized the true airman concept. He is so funny, and I hate when he wears other shoes, and I can't wear anything.
What pair of shoes he talking about? It's combat boots. Did they get you right?
Yeah.
Talking about his combat boots. So that's a part of it. You just telling the story, and at the end of each time, I'm gonna ask people what pair of shoes you think they're talking about. So I like how you did it. You talked to it. Hey man, loosen them boots up. You're gonna cut off the circulation to the toes. Okay. Two more people. Yes. And if I got more than 2, that'll work as well. If y'all excited about this.
Mine's not a specific shoe. As Aaron's right shoes, we have started a support club. We feel neglected and forgotten, so we have to gather together to keep from being so alone. We have found strength and companionship in each other. The Right Shoe Club members are praying for the day when we can continue our adventures with the left shoes and our friend Aaron. And if you can't see, I'm in a boot and have been not here almost 3 months.
As soon as you was like the right shoes, I was like, that was so clever. All of your right shoes are at the house, jealous.
I don't even know where they are.
Cause they ain't been outside in 3 months. They feel neglected. I like it. I had a hand over on the side.
I used to only get brought out for special occasions. I spent most of my time in a box stored at the back of the closet. I would be pulled out, freshened up to be worn on a date, to a wedding or funeral. Then one day I was given to a younger man who was very moved to receive me. My life changed as I no longer lived in a box only to come out occasionally, and I stayed near the front door and constantly spend time walking the world. My leather shows the marks of time, and I am well loved and well worn. I know that I am a special connection between a boy and his dad.
Word. All right. Before y'all start clapping, I was gonna be like, yo, you got the floor, man. What shoe is he talking about?
Those are cowboy boots.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dad boots.
What's
My
that?
dad's boots.
Texas.
I got them back in the past.
Your dad's boots.
Yeah.
And now you wear them.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody on this side of the room, you gotta follow that. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. We can't let this room have all the love. Somebody over here, tell us your shoe story.
Thank you.
When I was young, I was sleek, shiny, and raring to be used. When I first saw the light, when my box opened and went out to the grassy fields under the sun, I knew this is where I belonged. Pounding the turf, putting on miles, striking the ball, I was in my element. The weather didn't matter. Sopping wet after a match, I wasn't sleek anymore. Had a few cracks and nicks, but I was satisfied. Now most of my time is spent in the dark, remembering those days. I miss them, but I'm glad for how my strength was spent. Now my greatest joy is when I get out occasionally and run with a smaller, sleeker version of myself, teaching the young owner skill.
Yeah. What pair of shoes? Soccer cleats. Soccer cleats. Soccer cleats. Is it just about shoes? No.
Smaller.
The moment we shift and we tell the story from the perspective of the shoe, we begin to learn things about one another that we never knew. And it was based on me saying to you, I'm going to give you an index card, and you got 5 minutes, and I want you to write a story about shoes. And I heard, of course, that is your thing. True, that's why we do it. Because I could have picked any object, but I love retro Jordans. So I want y'all to love retro Jordans too. So I'm slightly disappointed none of y'all talked about retro Jordans. But the stories that came out from hearing all of y'all talk about shoes, whether it was like, he is a proud airman. I still say you gotta loosen them boots up, man. Too tight, you abuse them a little bit. Quit stepping in poop, man. What's wrong? But to know that he out here working, that he could have picked any pair of shoes, but he chose from the perspective of his combat boots, tied to his service. He wants you to know something about him that you didn't know. The story about all of the right shoes that haven't left the house in 3 months, and I don't even know where they are neglected. She don't even know what her right shoes are, yo. When this is over with, she gonna be wearing mismatched shoes. She trying to find her stuff, but it offers you a perspective that currently, this thing that you wouldn't expect from the perspective of the shoe, that she hasn't worn a right shoe in 3 months. Or to hear about a pair of cowboy boots handed down from a father. Or to hear about soccer cleats that are a little bit worn, got some cracks in it, don't get out very much, unfortunately, but my greatest joy is when I'm running around next to a pair that is smaller, fresher, younger than I am, teaching skill. Who are you teaching soccer skills to?
My son.
To his son.
All my kids, really.
Yeah. And if we continue to move around the room, you would find out things about one another that you had no idea existed, just from the perspective, not of the shoe, but the human experience. That I played soccer, this close relationship that I had with my dad, and now I have the same shoes he walked a mile in. I am walking 10,000 miles in. I had this injury, and like, this is the craziest thing. I haven't worn a right shoe in months. This mission-ready airman. That it tells about your human experience. Not the thing that necessarily carried you. Because nobody said, oh, I got this pair of, and then they told this story. No, they gave it to you from that. This is about infinitely connected communication. When I am done talking with you, I must recognize that in this moment that I have, I shared earlier, that I am giving you moments of my life. that when people come up and they're like, yo, Chief Boo, can I get like 10 minutes of your time? I can't just be like, yep, here you go, and walk away. I gotta be here with you. I have to listen, I have to respond, I have to be present. Yes, I'll give you 10 minutes of my life. And normally people are like, oh, that's a bit much. No, that's what it is. When I got the invite from the command chief to come up, I went to my wife. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna need a day for travel. I'll spend 2 days there, one with the 91st, one with the 5th, and then I'll fly back home. You cool with me giving the people at Minot Air Force Base 4 days of my life? Because that's 4 days that I could have been with my family, driving my kids crazy, asking them questions that they don't want me to ask. Naima, she's 18, I got both eyes on you. So this is 4 days that I'm not watching what she doing. So she probably appreciates y'all. She probably sending thank you cards to y'all right now. You're on a Christmas list. But I just signed up to give 4 days of my life to you. You have, I know y'all probably didn't have a choice because I'm here and like now you here. But currently in this moment, you are giving me 50 minutes of your life as I give you 50 minutes of my life in this moment. That these perspectives, if we do it right, we can be connected to one another in a way that has been imaginable. And it can start with anything. Now you know a story about someone in your work center that you didn't know before, an experience that they are having in life that you were unaware of. And if we had more time, we went around the room and everyone started sharing, I guarantee you, by the time we're done, y'all will be sitting around like, dang, I never knew that. I shared earlier that when you see me like this, you're like, oh, that's Chief Boo. But there is a pair of retro Jordans, always on standby, and a hoodie, and if you bump into me outside of this, it will tell you a very different experience. That if you ask me, yo, why are you spending so much money? Tell me the shoe story. Why is it important? I would talk to you about growing up on the south side of Chicago. During a time where my mom worked graveyard shifts, doubles and triples, just to make sure that she could take care of the 5 kids she had, and she couldn't always afford those Jordans. And so now for me, as I reflect on it, it is a thing where I'm like, I'm successful. That at any point in time, because I've downloaded all of the sneaker apps, and I make my sisters download them and my little brother, and when they come, I'm like, oh, I text them, hey, get on it, wake up, 8 o'clock in the morning, so that you can hit the button, and if you hit, then I must, hit means like you were selected. Because y'all like, hit what? Hit means that you were selected for the pair of shoes. I'm gonna send you the money so you can pay for them, but make sure you put my address because I don't have to deal with this whole thing with you, waiting for you to send me my stuff. I need them so I can put them on feet. And so I got all these shoes in the closet. Some of them don't even see the sunlight for months in my rotation, but I buy them, and as I look at them, I'm like, okay, I've hit this place of success where I can go and get the things that I want. What does this story that you are telling from the perspective of your shoe allow the world to know about you? Up here on the screen, there is an image. What y'all think that is? A dot. Anybody else?
A period.
Period? Why you say a period? Who said it? Why you say a period?
It's not a dot.
It's like, it's not a dot, it's gotta be a period.
We're public affairs, so I write, so it comes.
And on public affairs, we write stuff, and you just had us write a story. So obviously, we're talking about communication, it's gotta be a period. When you think of this as a period, what does it mean?
Story's over.
The story is over? Why does the story why does it have to be over? That's how periods work?
No, they just end the sentence. Story can still continue.
It's the end of the sentence. And so depending on your perspective, it can be the end of something, everything just stopped. It's the end. Or it can be the beginning of the next sentence, the next chapter the next story that you tell, the next place in your life. And so what I offer, it is. Not necessarily the end of things, not necessarily the beginning of things, it's just is. And depending on how you use it, it can mean anything. As you prepare communications, some of the things for you to consider in the process: who is your voice? For most of us, we are searching for the who, from what perspective, like what has happened in my life. Who is your voice? If it is to be infinitely connected, you have to hit that point in your communication. It will allow people to connect with you on a different level. The story of cowboy boots, the story of soccer cleats, the story of all of the right shoes that are left at home, the story of combat boots. Who is your voice? What is your voice? From what perspective are you offering this? From what experience are you gathering and mustering all of this to tell me something? I have heard people say words mean things. And my response is always, no, I mean it. I carry the meaning. I have stuff happening in me, and I am trying to muster and find the appropriate word to express the meaning that exists inside of me. If I asked you to go get me a pop, what would you bring me back?
Soda.
No. I didn't ask for a soda. I said go get me a pop.
Popsicle.
Popsicle? Huh?
Popsicle.
Popsicle? A carbonated drink. If you're from the South, you might bring me a Cola, even though I asked you for a Sprite. Why is that? I had somebody the other day in the session tell me like, hey man, that don't make sense. I know y'all Midwest folks do this whole pop thing. Why would you take the end of a word and make it the whole word? And I was like, what? Yeah, it's called a soda pop. Why would you cut off the soda and just say pop? It don't make no sense. And I was like, your brain is stupid. And that's why, because it was just making too much sense at the time. So, I'm from the south side of Chicago. If I come into a space, if I see you, and I'm like, yo, what's good? If you're from that area, the response is, oh man, like, life been lifing, and you'll just talk about, my wife is doing this, my kids, man, you know, I can't stand them kids. And you'll just tell me about your day, and I'll be like, yeah, man, what's good with you? And I'll tell you about mine. And then if I roll into New York, and I'm like, yo, what's good? Yo, what's good? I'm like, I don't know, what's good? Yo, what's really good? What's happening right now? I mean things. And I try to find the words to express it. Has there been a moment in your life where you're trying to say something, you're like, I really don't have the word to express the meaning that I'm carrying. I really can't think, man, what's a better way to express this? This is kind of what I'm feeling. Like, help me out here for someone to tag in to try to express the meaning that you have as you're communicating to folks. When is your voice? Inside of the stories, we were given time. When is your voice? When I'm playing soccer, it had to be in the past because I don't get out as much as I used to. But I have fond memories now of doing it with a younger, sleeker, newer pair. The boots that were handed down. The right shoes that haven't been out in 3 months. When is your voice? And then where is it? Inside of the stories that were told, we got a sense of these soccer cleats being brought out at a soccer field or in grass. You already began to fill in the blanks as they told the stories. I saw a whole bunch of right shoes relegated to corners of the house all over the place, out of you, stacked up in the closet. I thought about combat boots, my combat boots, And why he would see poop and step in, I still don't get it. Him tightening up his shoes, I begin to fill in all of the gaps. I've never met your father, sir, but I saw those boots walking. I saw them being put back in the box, and now I could imagine all of the miles that you are putting in them. Who, what, when, where, why? Why is what you are saying important? Why is this perspective, this story being offered? And then lastly, work. There is always this work that is happening. Inside of the stories that were told, there is this work that is taking place. The healing process that has to take place because I'm in this boot and so the shoes are off to the side. This place of literally walking in a father's footsteps, running alongside my dad, the skill that is required, tightening these boots up before I go to work. And well, unless you wear them, like you wear your combat boots all the time with like jeans and stuff. Okay, because I mean some people do. I'm not, if you want to know people, I'm not. I'm just saying, I'll say going to work. And he might have been like, I don't just wear them to work, man. And then it would have threw my whole thing off. Work is a part of your life. When we begin to think about this infinitely connected communication, all of these things are constantly at play as we deliver meaning, as we articulate our thoughts and our ideals and where we're trying to go and what we're trying to accomplish. And then there is uploading and downloading. There are times, as a defender, security forces is my AFSC, I can throw out a bunch of acronyms and I can talk about integrated defense, and y'all will be sitting here like, what did he just call us? Yeah. Because my download speed is quicker than your upload speed. Y'all can start talking to me and using acronyms from your sections and your career fields and the things that you do, and I'll constantly pause like, well, what does that mean? What am I supposed to do with that? I had a commander, when we would go in, I would talk to my unit commander as we went to the mission support group commander, who wasn't centric to mission support group. And as we got ready to go in, he would always turn to me and be like, hey Chief, how do I make sure that the boss gets what we need him to get? And I said, okay, I've been paying attention to him. He's like, all right. I said, he's gonna say to you, oh yeah, I got it. When he says that, he don't got it. Don't got it. You gotta slow down. He was like, I gotta slow down, you gotta slow down. He doesn't understand the MSG world. He'll say, because he's a colonel, he gotta know what's going on. I got it. He'll tell you that. But when he does it, you don't got it. He's like, okay. I said, there is internal memory, and there's external memory. He's like a computer? I said, no, like a human being. Internal memory is up here. Still vault, you tell me something, I remember it. External memory is when we're like, and we're taking notes about it. So I can come back to it, I'm writing it down. There's gonna be a moment, he's gonna say, I got it. And he'll reach over and grab his notebook, and he'll turn to me, he don't got it. There are gonna be moments in this conversation where he'll say, I got it. And if it's important and you need him to write a note, you gotta provide a handout to him. So you're not rude and you're like, write that down. That would be rude. Say that to your commander. He's like, MSG commander. It would be rude. You're like, no, that's important. Write that down. You don't want to do that to him. So when we go in, make sure you have a handout. So as you're talking about it, it's like, I got it. And you can say, and so I prepared a handout for you. So that way, the things that are important, now it's external memory. And like clockwork, we would go in, and the commander, my boss, understands integrated defense. That has been his life since he came into the Air Force. He knows it in and out. He is the Defense Force commander for the base, and most people don't understand that. He is the anti-terrorism officer for the base, and most people think he's just a security forces commander. He has like multiple hats he's wearing, and he will come in, he'll just get going, because he loves this stuff, and he wants you to love it, and he's like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, hey, sir. I would give him like, hey, slow down. Because the upload speed for the people listening to him, they're like, what do we have? Did you get any of that? Did you get any of that? And he's just like, oh, pushing it, and I would tell him. And he'd be like, all right, so let me recap, but I'm not like, and by the time we would get done, he would always ask, like, how was I? I'm like, you're still downloading it way faster than they can upload it. There were a couple of people that went over to external memory because they just couldn't keep up with you. And I saw folks doing this, and he crafted his messages based on understanding that everyone won't receive it the same way. They won't pick it up the same way. They won't absorb it the same way. And so we have to change how we deliver it based on the people that we are around. I'm a city boy from Southside Chicago. City boys talk fast. Some people like, that's because y'all trying to take advantage of folks. So you like, oh, talk fast, and they're like, what? How much I gotta give them? And I'm like, yeah, pay me. You're like, wait a minute. But most of my Air Force career has been spent across the South. I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, you want to slow that down for me, baby. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And then I'll take it down a couple of notches because I think I'm nickel slick, but they always got my penny change. That was them old folks be telling me, you think you nickel slick. I got your penny change, so I gotta slow it down just a little bit, so that way I can articulate it, because their upload is slower than my download. And as I built how we communicate to people, how do I connect me to them to them back to me, inside of this endless loop of communication? It took place during story time. How do I connect you to each other? The chaplain stands up and he tells a story about boots. And by the time he's done, and y'all realize what life experience he just offered you, everybody's like, you to you. As he told the story, I was like, word. Him to me back to him, word. What boot he talking about? Me back to y'all back to him. If we are doing it right for infinitely connected communication, there is this flow that happens from me to you, for y'all to each other, y'all back to me, and it is this endless loop. How have you been communicating to people? How have you made the meaning that you have so salient that when they walk away, they got it? They remember something about what you did, how, and Maya Angelou said it best, in my opinion, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel inside of this communication. How are you making people feel? There are these things that exist in all of the ways that we communicate. The triangle. There is logos, logic. There is pathos, emotions. There is ethos, ethics. If you look at something as simple as our Airman's Creed, you will find logic, emotions, and ethics inside of it. If you look at a commercial, while they're trying to sell you Downy pods or Tide pods, there is logic, there is emotion, and there are ethics inside of the commercial message that they are sending you. What are some of the ways commercials appeal to the logical sense that you have? Anyone?
The Dawn Dish soap commercials with the little baby ducks. Right there.
Is she right in the fields every time? What soap do you buy?
Dawn Dish soap.
Don, see that? This man is so committed. this commercial, it's like the little baby ducks, bro. If it's safe on the ducks, then it's safe on my family. Emotion, ethics, logic. There we go. Every time, if you go back and you start looking at and paying attention to how they communicate to you in the media, on commercials, on the news, logic, ethics, emotion, they are hitting the triangle every time. As you communicate to people, have you tried using all of it? Or is your argument solely based in emotion? And I don't think that there's anything wrong with emotions, because emotions emote, to be moved. That is the root of it, the etymology of that word, to be moved. So I'm moved to tears, I'm moved to laughter, I'm moved to do this, I'm moved to not do that, to be moved. So there's nothing wrong with emotions, we all experience it. But have you used some logic as a part of your argument or your position? Have you used the ethical portion of what we can strive to be? And as an added layer, purpose, time, and space. Think back to all of the stories that were told during story time from the perspective of a sheep. Was there any emotion present? Were there any ethical things present? Was there a purpose to the story and the shoes that people were wearing? I have to wear the boot because I have this injury. And so all of my right shoes are at home. That's logical. If you have been through an injury before, like that'll pull at you like, man, I got always on the crutches, moving around, got the boot. The ethics behind it, the purpose. I'm tying up my boots as an American airman. Playing soccer with my son, showing him the skills, space, time, purpose, ethics, emotion, and logic. If you want to take your messaging to the next level, start employing some of these things. Start using them in your day-to-day interactions so that way you can connect on all levels and on all layers. There was this one moment where I was over at the instructor's course for all of the EPME instructors. So I am the commandant of this course, and I am looking for ways to challenge my team, to push them out of their comfort zone. And so I connected with the National Guard, the Virginia National Guard. They happen to have a connection with the Senegalese Air Force. That is like their partner, nation, sister, service, connection. And so I'm going back and forth with the NCOIC, and I'm like, hey, y'all are going to Senegal. Oh, y'all are getting ready to try to set up an NCOA. I got the perfect people to help you. I got a team of instructors. That's what we do. We teach people how to go out and be instructors in our PME. Let me help you. Yeah, bet. I went into a staff meeting. I had a slide, and I said, our team is going to Senegal. And everybody was like, oh. I was like, yeah. That, if y'all don't know, that's on the continent of Africa. And everybody in the staff meeting was like, oh, how'd you do that? I partnered with the National Guard. Like, it's good to go. Perfect. The next week, on the slide, the team is heading to Senegal. I'm not gonna go with the first team, I'm gonna send them. I'm going on the second team when they come around. But the team is going to Senegal. And everybody's like, yeah, good work, senior, good work. Yeah. Another week goes by, my slide is there again, and I'm saying, hey, the team is going to Senegal, and so the team leaves. I'm in a course, at the leadership development course, and the command chief calls me, and he is angry. Please tell me we don't have assets on the continent of Africa. And I was like, I don't know what Chief. I don't know what all the Air Force is doing. I didn't watch the news this morning. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna make it plain for you. Yeah, it's getting hostile now. Tell me you don't have 4 of our airmen in Senegal right now. I can't tell you that, Chief. You better tell me that they are in Vermont. What? Chief, I just got one call. I know you asked me a question. But this is me on break holding the phone in the hallway, trying to figure out what is happening in my life right now. Chief, I know you asked me a question. And I'm not supposed to answer with a question. Can I ask you a question? What? Why would they be in Vermont? You tell me. Oh, Lord. Chief, I don't know. I don't know why they would be in Vermont. That's right, because they in Senegal. How do we have airmen in Senegal? And the Air University commander has no idea, and the Barnes Center commander has no idea, and I don't have no idea. And now I'm like, that's where you messed up, Chief. Yeah. I straightened up my uniform. I took a little air in my chest, and then I let it out, and I was like, Chief, y'all thought I was crazy? I ain't crazy. I might be right, but I ain't crazy. And so I say, Chief, I've been briefing it for 4 weeks. You've been briefing what? That we were going to Senegal with the Vermont National Guard. They got this thing that they do and they're setting up. I'm gonna call you back, click. And then I get the call back. Hey, yes. I'm looking back at the staff meeting slides for the last 4 weeks. Yep. You could have did a better job communicating this to us that the team was going to Senegal. For 4 weeks, I have been saying that we were going to Senegal. 4 weeks. But it did not connect to the people in the room. I had slides. I was like moving my hands. People were clapping. They even told me like, good work, senior. And I was like, yeah. Boo for president 4 more years. Right? I'm building ties, partner nation, and that's what I do. And now I'm on the phone and you asking me, does SAF Air Force know that the team is in Senegal? And I'm saying like, yeah, yes. Just yesterday, on my slide, those pictures of the team, that was them in Africa. and the other 2 military people that was in the photo with our 4 people, that was the headquarters Air Force folks who worked the orders and paid for them to be there. But I didn't connect it in a meaningful way to where they paid attention. I didn't make sure. I was just going off emotion. Hey man, we get to do this, blah, blah, and I'm going. I didn't run the drill with them. I didn't talk about the timing, the space. I mean, I said Senegal, but I mean, that could have gone over anybody's head. Continent of Africa, Senegal, working with Vermont National Guard, that could have gone over anybody's head. So the purpose of us going there, I mean, I know I said they're standing up at NCOA, we're going to teach them how to do that, and all like that. I could have connected it in a better way. So when every time we were done, folks in the room knew that we had a team that was heading to Senegal as a part of this partner nation stuff. And so we changed our process in the Barnes Center. Because by the time the team was done, everyone was like, oh, like this, we need to keep them coming over. We got to keep this thing going. How do we make this connection real so y'all can walk us through the process? When you are communicating, are you using these things? Have you connected the people to you and everyone in the audience to one another? That is how we hit this place of infinitely connected communication. where it's meaningful, it's logical, it's ethical, it's purposeful, it's timely, and it hits for who we are and where we are. Those messages last forever. It is my hope that in this time that we spent together, that you found something that you're like, oh man, I can accept that. That there were moments throughout where you said to yourself, I can begin to practice that. And always more importantly, that there was something that you can take away to share with someone else. As I turn the floor back over to your commander, it was an honor to spend some time with y'all talking about infinitely connected communications. Thank y'all for the stories that you shared. Thank you for the stories that you wrote that you didn't get to share. Maybe y'all will share them with each other later. In the process of things, I know you may not have had a choice to be here, but in the words of the warrior poet, Jay-Z, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me, and I appreciate it. Back over to you, sir.
All right. You said that you took an hour of our time, but thank you for all the time that you sacrificed. So not only did he spend time with us here,